Christian Surfers were doing something in Wales. So we've been invited by Fellowship of Christian Athletes to see how we could best work together. As we always do, we just sort of pray for divine appointments to see what was up there. And it was at that event that we just started sharing about what God's doing in FCA, what God's doing in Christian Surfers in Wales in particular. And it was these couple of guys in the room that suddenly began to smile when we were talking about, the Surfers Bible Project and all of that. And at the end of it, we heard this story of these two who'd come to faith very, very recently, but that morning they got baptized literally at the bottom of the cliff of where we were meeting. Then they heard about this gathering, found themselves there, and then we were able just to chat to them, encourage them, connect them with Christian Surfers Wales. And of course, the look on their face when they both got a Surfers Bible was absolutely amazing. And it was just, again, a real opportunity. This is what they needed, and this is what God's given through all this amazing work that's been done behind the scenes. And in fact, since then, there's been 2 high-profile Welsh surfers that have come to faith, so God's really doing something there. And it was just like, the timing was just absolutely perfect. Can you imagine getting baptized? Somebody's invested in your life, or numerous people invest in your life. You're a surfer, hardcore surfer, you found out there's a gathering, and then just so happened to be talking about this project called the Surfers Bible. And by the way, would you like one? Well, of course I would. So it's just such a natural thing. I had a bit of a sabbatical, came back on the 1st of September, had an amazing opportunity to do a funeral for one of the top surfers in Britain, which was a real honour. And then I was driving back, I pulled over at a service station. As I got out of the van, there was a guy just staring at me. I'm thinking, I was like, so what on earth's going on? I said, can I help you? He said, is that for real? And I said, what's that then? He said, Christian Surfers. He said, I've just become a Christian. And he showed me his cross, and I'm a surfer. And I'm suddenly looking in a service station at you, Christian Surfers, on your van. So I said, amazing. So I had a great chat with him, and of course, just so happened to find my Surfer's Bible and give him a Bible. And he was so stoked, because he had the old, sort of really old tattered one. And it was just a fantastic opportunity. And then I was on another trip to Scotland, and there's the most westerly islands it's pretty remote. And they asked me to speak at a church. And the guy that goes to that church has to go onto 4 different islands to get to church. You imagine that. And I just felt I had one Surfer's Bible left. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take this to the church. And I want to give it to the pastor of the church just so he can have an extra Surfer's Bible. But I wonder if there's somebody. And so I had no idea what was going on, apart from said, I just want to hand you this Bible. And if you've got somebody you think that you'd like to give it to. And he had a big smile on his face, because one of his relatives is a surfer, thinking about faith, and it's just like, what a fantastic idea, I can give him this resource. So literally went to the furthest westerly point of Scotland, where who on earth is going to want a Surfer's Bible? And yet God has said, this is the person that I'm going to give it to. So that's pretty powerful. Never underestimate the power of the gospel.